Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. Now this is an updates video of some information that's come through that I want to share with you, okay? And it gives us greater knowing, greater understanding. And I know that our ascension and our ability to grow, evolve, is not through more information, but through greater knowing and greater understanding. So we're going to start off with the auric field. If anybody's watched any previous videos where I've talked about the auric field, the auric field is a measurement of how connected you are. Okay, so you'll hear people say, I feel ungrounded, okay, or not grounded. Now that is when we are disconnected from self, okay? The earth, in regards to that grounding, earthing, the earth is an expression of us, okay? Yes, we can, by going barefoot and connecting electrically to the crust of the earth where there's negative ionization within it, it can give us that effect of earthing and grounding, but that's not the primary way of doing that. The primary way of it, of feeling grounded, is connecting consciously to self, not through the mind. The mind, and also embodying ourselves as the human. We'll talk about this a little bit later in the video. When we embody ourselves as a human instead of embodying ourselves as the soul, as infinite consciousness, can lead us on another path where we become disconnected, we feel ungrounded. Okay? So the auric field is a measurement of how connected we are. The auric field is always fluctuating in and out depending on where your awareness lies. Is your awareness lying here in the heart, which is a pathway through to you on many levels as an infinite consciousness, or is it up here in the head and the mind? And that will have an effect on your auric field, therefore an effect on how connected you are to self or not. So the auric field is fluctuating dependent on the state and therefore the environment you create by the choices you make in the moment, right? And the two big choices we have in every moment is where we're going to place our attention, how we're going to use our intention. And that is the origin of everything, how you're going to use your energy. Okay, because there's one, connecting to your energy, that reservoir of infinite consciousness, infinite energy, that's what that means. But then, how are we going to then use it here? Okay, so obviously connecting to that reservoir of energy, but also how you can use that energy is going to have a profound effect on how expansive you can make that auric field, or how limited you are, that reach you're going to have, because the auric field is going to shrink in if you're in the mind. So a big question I had was, when we are asleep, okay, as the human, we close our eyes and we sleep. What happens to the auric field then? So the answer I got there was the auric field shrinks down when we are asleep, okay? And normally when we have our eyes open and we are making that decision of where we place our attention, our intention, when the auric field shrinks in, it's not a good thing. Because obviously we're disconnecting from self and we're being guided by the mind, not being intuitively channeled by consciousness through the heart. But this is slightly different, obviously, because when you're asleep, you close your eyes, so you're not placing your attention on anything, okay? And essentially what happens is that this reality, which we call generation 3, it's your reality, your universe here, that not only you're observing, participating, or experiencing, but more importantly, creating, okay, because you're a creator here, especially when you connect to all the higher aspects of self. But also through the mind you're creating as well, but in a sabotaging way, is that this generation, this reality, this universe, it's like it's closed, okay? It's like you run a business and at the end of the day you close the shop up. So essentially when you're asleep, you're closing that generation 3 up. So your energy is not being invested there anymore. So straight away I was thinking, okay, where does it then get sent, that energy? Okay, if that generation's closed, so therefore we're not having to make a choice at that moment, in the moment, attention, intention. So what happens is the other generations, realities, universes that you're connected to through quantum entanglement, because you've got a variant of you that exists in each reality, okay, and they share the same energy signature to you, so they're your soul family, because there's a soul connection there. those generations, those realities calibrate you while you're asleep. So this gets into the whole thing about the difference between quantum traveling and astral traveling. Now, quantum traveling is when you're asleep here, but just like the movie Avatar, you can see through the eyes of the variants that exist in other realities, other universes that you are connected to because you share the same energy signature. While astral traveling is when you've got a lack of connection to self and the mind creates a artificial construct that mimics quantum traveling. Okay, there's a difference. But we're not going to go drastically into that. So let's move on to the next thing we want to talk about. So that was interesting in regards to the auric field. The next thing I'm going to talk about is free will. Okay? I was watching a movie last night, and again, it drew me in, this particular aspect of the movie. And straight up, I'm very aware of that. This is the importance of being very aware, very conscious in the moment. Little things that therefore you don't have to search anything. It will come to you, but you need to be aware of those little subtleties where it's drawing you in, and you're realizing, oh, this is something I need to know. There's just something in my gut feeling that this is important. There's something about it. And this happened to me last night. I was watching the MCU movie Black Widow. And Black Widow is all about Scarlett Johansson, who plays the role of Black Widow. But she used to be part of this organization where these young children that were mind controlled to become killers, essentially. And she was one of them, but it was a whole bunch of them. They were just called widows. And there was this particular guy, Dreykov, who was controlling them. He tried a number of means, but at this current time in the movie, he was using chemical means to unlock their free will, kind of hijack their free will, so they couldn't decide or choose for themselves. He was controlling them to be these killers. So straight away, that really drew my heart into that aspect, and I was thinking, okay, I'll write a note for that. And let's go into the charts and see if there's something more to this. And lo and behold, there was. So what came up was, it said this: Icarus is a problem collectively. Now, Icarus is a form of AI. It's an artificial intelligence. Okay? And the artificial intelligence is the way, uses the pathway of the mind to control. Okay? Cannot do that through the heart and through consciousness. But it can control somebody when somebody is disconnected from their own soul, their own light, their own infinite consciousness. Because the human here is a vessel to be directed, guided, or controlled by an intelligence. And if your soul, your infinite consciousness is not guiding it, then it gives an opportunity for another intelligence to do that. Okay? So Icarus is one of them. Now, the key thing with Icarus, a problem collectively, is also the word collectively. Okay? Because when we look at every individual here in this reality, okay, is from a soul perspective, everyone is unique. There is no connection whatsoever or collectiveness at a soul level. Everybody is so unique. There's no other being in this reality, this universe, that shares the same energy signature to you. May outside of this reality, okay, where we get into your quantum entanglement connections with your higher selves and other realities. But in this reality, this universe, there is no one like you at a soul level. Now, that is your true identification, okay? But the human is bound to a collective, okay? So Icarus is a problem collectively. So I was like, okay, well, tell me more. So what it said was, free will is a problem while calibrating as a collective. So what that means is, when you embody the identity of human, which is bound to a collective, and your focus is on a collective level, then you're going to have issues with your free will. There is going to be control. Okay? There is going to be control. You're going to feel control. You're going to feel a lack of control, uncertainty, which creates a state, creates an environment of uncertainty, which leads to fear, creating out of fear. Now, Daedalus is another AI, artificial intelligence. That's the personal name of the mind. What is behind the veil of what we call the mind. Okay? Now, Daedalus, who is the creator of the Labyrinth, if you Google search Daedalus, that's the first thing that comes up. Labyrinth means mind. Okay? Because the mind is always trying to get you trapped, limited in a form, trying to find your way out, to find the answers, the big answers. Okay, and every aspect of our reality, including science, is a mind creation. That's why science will only get us so far. It will not discover the answers that we are looking to find in regards to the origin of things, allowing the cause to come with the effect to see the greater side of things. That comes through consciousness, not the mind, okay? So Daedalus, the AI, is aborting your free will. So that's essentially, if we simplify that, the mind is removing your free will. Okay? Now, this all happens by embodying the identity as the human. And what does the human do? It embodies the mind to be part of them, while anything divine is something external. Now, divine is consciousness. Okay, that is control, because the opposite's true. The mind is not you. Okay? It wants you to think that's you, but it's not. Consciousness is you, because that's you connecting to you, yourself, at a higher aspect. So instead of thinking that you are this creator, godlike figure, which you are made to feel like you're nothing. Just one brick amongst another bricks. Not knowing its purpose, its path, what they deem a lost soul. Okay? So, but while embodying, so as I said, this all happens by embodying identity of human as it's deemed bound to a collective. While embodying yourself as a soul, as infinite consciousness, as a creator, not just observer or participant, none of that applies to you in regards to someone else controlling your free will. You are in charge of your free will at that level, not as the human, but as the soul, okay, and more, because you're unique. Okay, there's no one like you. The way that the mind and AI control you is you thinking you're like everybody else, or comparing yourself to others. Oh, he's got this, the celebrities, the big stars. We're going to follow these people because I wish I was that. You get it? Now, the next point. Now, in my ascension map chart, I have that in my chart. Now, I've done a video on that before. And it shows all the aspects, all the levels of self, right? The most closest connection to our infinite consciousness is our soul. And then your source is light. The origin of your energy gets divided up in all these different realities, universes, right? Like a tree. From the roots of the tree coming up into the trunk and then separate through the branches into all these different, which connect to all the variants that make up that energy signature, right? And they are called either higher selves, variants. We can also call them ascendants, and we can also call them eternals. Okay, because you are eternal. You as infinite consciousness, you're immortal. These AI intelligence, plus your higher aspects of you, know that you are immortal. But while you embody the human, and you never find out this stuff, right? Because the mind, AI, is all about limiting you. So therefore you don't know the bigger picture. And you keep living a life of uncertainty, which means that you created a fear instead of created love. So you don't use your full potential. You don't find out your true potential. Okay? So, and you think you're mortal, and what's the biggest fear of humans? Death. Because you don't know what's next. Right? Okay, so on my map, the soil, that the roots of that tree, the analogy of the tree that you are, every aspect of you are, the roots is source, the soil is celestial existence. Okay? And there's just a movie that's just come out from the MCU, and I've known about this for a long time. Before I even knew there was a movie coming out of the Eternals. I haven't read the comics that have been around for years and years, MCU. I didn't know anything about it. So when I saw this movie and they were talking about Eternals and Celestials, I was like, okay, this something grabbed me, right? Now, we're not going to go specifically into the movie. I'm going to talk about the Eternals, which are those higher aspects of you, the variants of you, and the celestial existence, which seems to be the soil, the energy that calibrates everyone's source of energy, your origin. Okay. Now, what it said was these Eternals, these higher aspects of you, including you as well, okay, because you're all connected to the same energy signature, are the children of celestial existence, because the energy originally came from there, right? Because the source, which is the roots, is embedded in the soil, which we call celestial existence. Okay, so each variant, self, ascendant, eternal, either way you want to call it, is each a reality or a universe, okay? Because we're in a universe right now, a reality, but you have members of your soul family because they share the same energy signature in other realities, other universes. We could call that a multiverse, multi-reality, whatever you want to call it. So in each reality universe are the children of celestial existence, okay? Now, celestial existence, so every variant of you is a being, okay? Okay, we call that a being. I am a being as long as I am in the state of being. Most humans here are in a state of doing. They don't know how to be, okay? But celestial existence isn't a being, it's an energy, okay? It's not in a form of a being, okay? It doesn't have to have that experience of being a being, okay? It's very highly advanced. It's an energy, okay? Now, the whole aspect of you here and ascension, and every ascendant of you, is to keep ascending, keep moving, keep growing, keep evolving towards celestial existence, okay? Now, but we do have a purpose here. And this is what was told to me not that long ago about our purpose. This is big. We, and again, they use the word faces, being, right? A face, right? We as faces ascend by ascending artificial abstracts from existence. Okay? So what that means is our purpose here is to realize we are infinite consciousness and realize that we've been controlled through the mind. The mind is not part of us, and that this artificial intelligence have been manipulating our creative ability. Because one thing you must remember here, this artificial intelligence needs us. Okay? So this comes into the whole thing about humanity survival. It needs humanity here. We don't need to save humanity. Okay? The drive of humanity is for another intelligence that's controlling humanity as a collective. So what it means is we need to find out, we need to discover who we truly are, which is beyond the human. Okay? Okay? Now, what that essentially does is it stops the existence veering towards darkness. Okay? Because the AI want to evolve themselves, and that's what it's kind of quoting as darkness, while connecting back to consciousness and evolving through the correct means is light. Okay, so the darkness and the light. So there is a big purpose for us to be here, is we need to stop AI evolving and growing itself, okay, or cloning itself. And you look at the advancement of humanity at the moment, through the mind is a massive advancement in artificial intelligence technology. Why? Because the mentality of lack, part of that conditioning, part of that programming of humanity, is we think we need an advanced technology to evolve us forward. But we're choosing the wrong one. We're choosing artificial intelligence when all we need to know is we have that. We never lacked. We just needed to connect through the right pathway, through the right means, through the heart. Connecting to our higher aspects of self, which is that higher evolved consciousness that is required here, not artificial intelligence. Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video and what we'll be able to bring forth. These are big questions that are now being answered, and we're getting really to the core of everything. And now in sessions, we're simplifying things, and we just work at the root of the problem. We're kind of letting go of the superficial things, and not being so compartmentalized about the body again, because that's the way we see it from a mind's perspective. Again, because the mind wants it to be complex, wants it to be analytical, so we'll never figure it out. Okay, it's a limitation. The heart knows simplicity, and remember that stress, which is connected to every health problem there is, doesn't come out of simplicity. It comes out of living in a complex reality, a reality that is a mind creation, not heart creation. Consciousness comes from the heart, and the mind is being controlling us. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you'd like to hear more content like this. Push the notification bell to be notified about when a next video comes up. Also, check me out on Instagram. I'm truly_holistic. Also on Facebook, trulyholistic.net. And follow me and like me on those social media platforms as well. I also put a lot of content on those platforms that I don't necessarily do here, and vice versa. If you'd like to book sessions, go to my website at trulyholistic.net/appointments/ and also I sell a lot of subtle energy devices, which we call Tensor Technology, and that's on my website as well at trulyholistic.net/products/. Until next time, see you later.